And then we have Luna representing tattoo artists across America.
Wow.
All of them.
It's not even local, not even statewide, but actually just nationally wide.
All of them.
The world.
Done. Yep.
The world. Yeah. Luna,
Global tattoo artist.
What's the name of your shop?
Spellbound.
And you're the owner?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, owner of Spellbound. And I think you separated the word, 2 words.
I don't, like legally, it's 1 word.
Oh, legally it's
Like I just was being creative. I'm like, I'm just going to make it 1.
Okay. Got you.
Make my own word up.
Yeah. No, that's great.
So
how do you get clients? Because it's probably competitive. How many tattooers are in Ogden?
Oh my gosh. There's probably like 15 on Washington Boulevard.
Are you serious?
Like shops, at least I've
Shops,
counted.
dude.
Tattoo shops.
Oh,
Yeah,
I had
there's
no
like
idea.
Each shop has how many artists would you say?
At least 5 or 6.
I had no idea.
There's
That's
a lot.
one street.
Tattoos.
That's one street in Ogden.
Well, you said it's lucrative as long as you can get a client base, right?
Yes. Well, think about painters. There's a lot of painters out there, right? But they're all different. They do paint different things. They don't paint the same thing.
So tattoo artists are all. What's your style
Unique.
then?
So the way that I was brought up in the industry, I was taught to like be well-rounded. So I kind of am like diverse and I play with different styles, and I don't try to like stay in one way. I kind of go through phases. So like one phase I'll be like abstract, or one phase I'll be black work, and then traditional. Like, I don't know. It depends how I'm feeling, I guess.
What's everyone asking for these days? A certain style?
I call them basic bitch tattoos.
Okay. Todd?
Very
What is that?
Wait, don't look at me. I know what basic bitch is.
I don't know. You knew that there were so many tattoo artists. I was like, I don't know what that is.
No, but this kind of makes sense. So
I'm joking.
I'm following. Yeah.
I'm joking. No, Utah has a very like suppressed culture. I feel like
Okay.
I'm sure you guys understand. Are you raised in Utah? Are you
Yes.
all raised? You're not. Where are you from?
No, Texas.
Texas. Okay.
Yep.
Texas has a huge tattoo community. Actually, I think Texas has one of the biggest in the U.S. Community as far
Eric's
as I know.
only tattoo is on his ass.
Yeah. You look like an only athlete.
Yeah. Stay tuned, because make sure you watch the whole
Watch
episode.
the whole
'Cause Luna's
episode.
going to give me a tattoo
An ass
during
tattoo.
the episode.
That's the
Do you want
bonus,
running
bonus
shoes?
part
That's the
of the
bonus
show.
point.
I'll do
yeah.
running shoes.
Yeah. Okay. No.
You know the shoes on the wire where it's like Converse, just like coming down?
Oh, that would be
Yeah.
an awesome tattoo,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I dig that. Okay, but more basic. So,
Oh, yeah,
but the
sorry.
style that you do, like people are asking for the most around here. Is there something trending that's
In Ogden specifically,
Yeah.
well, I have to think about that because I'm originally from Logan, Utah. And when I lived in Logan, a lot of college students got tattooed by me because they were from different states. And they weren't grown up in a way where like tattoos were bad. Like you'll get a girl from like Wisconsin or like California, and they're like, oh yeah, as soon as I turn 18, like you get tattoos. You know, use daddy's credit card to swipe it, and that's how it was. And I was just like, okay, cool. Like we're gonna just label our ATM as a bookstore, like whatever.
Sure.
But there was mountains. I always did mountains.
Oh, yeah.
Mountain tattoos and like constellations. I did a lot, like stars.
yeah?
And here in Ogden, I feel like the art style has evolved, and I get a lot of clients from Salt Lake City. So I feel like, I don't know, they're like anything weird we'll get. Like we just like, you know, different weird tattoos, like something that you drew. So I feel like the culture has kind of changed where like they want the artist to kind of do their own thing, and they just are willing to get that thing that makes them artists.
There's a photographer in town who prints stuff for other artists. And he's got an issue with it, people bringing in photos from their iPhone because they believe that the iPhone has good enough quality to print really, really big.
Oh, no.
Which it doesn't. So I'm curious, you know, people very much like their own art.
Always.
Do they bring in art that you look at and it's like, this is not going to work?
I've gotten, oh my gosh. It's so funny because it's like I hear all these like voices in my head that tell me all these things, and I never say it out loud. So I always feel bad if it comes off like really offensive to like clients because it's like very like blunt. But like, to be completely honest, I don't say anything to my clients when they bring me something that is very untattooable. I've learned a lot. Like I've been tattooing for at least 7 years, and throughout the years I've learned not to tell your client like no. Like you're like, okay, I'm going to do everything in my power as an artist to make it a yes. Like I'm going to change it to fit their vision, but like I've noticed when I tell clients like, oh, like this is not going to work out. Like, look at the line work. Like this is too small or blah, 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 blah. Like, I skip that step and I tell them, I love your idea. I think it's amazing. Come in on this day. And then like, I just like give them what I can, similar, like close to what they want. And they never say anything. Like they never were like, oh, actually I wanted it like way smaller. Like they trust your opinion. Like,
Yeah.
And I've gotten so far in my career where like I have a following and I have the social media, like I wouldn't say like clout, but I have like the background where they'll trust me.
Yeah.
And then if they don't trust me, I have to like, you know, hey, like I know what I'm doing, like don't worry, like reassure them and like let them know that. And if it does come down to like them being extra picky, then I just am straight up. I'm like, maybe I'm just not the artist for you.
Yeah.
Like,
Todd, is that an arts lesson here?
Oh yeah. I think that's probably across the board. That sounds about right. But I think sometimes it's also like, how many artists do you have in your shop?
currently I want to say
I like that you have to
4 or
count.
5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 or 5. And so maybe you're not the right one, but maybe one of your artists is.
Exactly.
Right? And so I think
Yeah.
that also the more the artists in your community, it's also pairing them up with that. I mean,
Exactly.
that's like that's like the nice community thing to do. You know,
Right.
It's that sort of referral work. Is like maybe this particular public art call isn't for you, but maybe
Exactly.
maybe the next
you
one
can
coming
refer
up might
them,
be.
just like how hairstylists do. Like, oh, I know I can't do
Oh, that's
pop
true.
color, so
Yeah.
but so and so does do it. I've referred a couple people to like a few friends of mine, like geometric tattoos. I don't do geometric tattoos. I feel like that skill is like very like intricate line work, and I feel like with my style, it just doesn't mesh very well. So I do have a friend that does it amazing. So I just send them to them.
What's your favorite style to do? When someone says, I want
I
to do
would
this,
say
you're
abstract.
like, yeah,
abstract art.
Okay.
That's right now, currently.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll change. But like illustrator, like child book illustrative tattoos, like
Okay.
anything that reminds you of like your childhood. And I feel like that links back to like your art style is going to always, like the foundation is going to be how you grew up in your art, like your childhood.
So did you
Yeah.
draw a lot as a kid, like growing
Yeah.
up? Like when were you like, all right, I'm tattooing now?
8.
Yeah.
8.
She was 8.
She was 8.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just was then.
Gave your first
It hit.
tattoo at 8 or 9. Amazing.
I feel like so my parents were the type of parents that did not care if I drew on the walls.
Oh, cool.
And
Yeah.
So I had this like I grew up in a very, very small house. It was it was at least a 1-bedroom house with like 5 kids. And there was this there was like 2 living rooms, but like I think it was a dining room that my parents converted into a bedroom because it didn't have like doors. So it was just like a big like opening room and there was like bunk beds in there. So
Yeah.
I just grew up very poor in like a small house. It was like a square shaped, and I'm sure like my parents were like, this is what we did. My dad worked in a farm. My mom was a stay-at-home mom, and like my mom was very creative. She always played like Play-Doh with us, and like she just always like was in touch with our artistic abilities. My older sister is an artist. My little sister cannot draw her own name. Like she's not that good.
Yeah.
But when it came to like art and expressing ourselves, my parents were very supportive, and they're like, yeah, go ahead. Like actually the house is abandoned, and if you still look into the windows, my art is still there.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember your first tattoo?
Yes.
Not on you, but that you did.
Although my parents were very supportive, they're very Catholic.
Yeah.
So they made me wait until I was 18.
Before you got one.
So before I got one. My
Yeah.
parents don't have one. Either of my parents don't have any
Okay.
tattoos. I like asked them, like, can I please tattoo you? And they're like, no. They're like more scared about the pain than they are about like, you know, anything else. They're like scared it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
So,
And then what was the first one that you did on somebody else?
oh, I love your questions.
Well, I have this vision of you like
Like
in
actually,
an alley somewhere with like some
Basically.
janky equipment or whatever. But
So
but you have to like go to school and do the whole thing, right? But did you
Yeah.
start like on the?
So rewinding the clock a little bit, I remember being in high school and my friends would always like walk up to me and be like, draw me.
Yeah.
Because I always drew. I always was like drawing random stuff. And so my friends were like, here's a Sharpie, like just draw me. So I was that friend that got in trouble all the time by like their parents or teachers. And I would like trace like roses all the time. And then my teacher actually like came up to me. She was so mad at me because she would catch me drawing all the time and I would never do my homework. And I remember telling her that she was all like, you need to stop drawing. And then I looked at her and I was like 17 years old. And I'm like, what if I become a tattoo artist? And it's because of my career. And she's like, 20 more minutes. And then ever since then,
20 more minutes.
Yeah. Ever since then, she never ever told me to stop drawing.
Yeah.
Like the rest of the school year, she never like told me to put it away. And I actually like, I want to contact her again and tell her thank you. Like, yeah, that was a huge breaking point for me.
I do have a quick question, and I think that you're probably a good person to ask. Is because you grew up Catholic, your parents, your family's still Catholic,
Yeah.
and so I'm not religious. This is obviously a somewhat religious community that we live in Ogden, and I say in Ogden in Utah. And how does the tattoo culture sort of play in with what's sort of written, right? Like, I mean, the way that you were raised, is it obviously there's plenty of religious people that get tattoos at some point, you know, but what is it? Obviously your parents aren't fans of it. So how does that fall? How does that fall into being a tattoo artist in a culture that, you know, you use the word repressed, right? I mean, there's a lot of people that are, and sometimes when you said you lived up in Logan, and so it might be their first time away from home. They turn a certain age. They might find a place that's hidden from view, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of first tattoos are hidden from view, right?
Yeah.
Some parents don't ever see. And so how's that sort of played into your practice or becoming an artist in a place like Utah?
Well, I feel like in the industry, it's actually really unique in that way, because I feel like a lot of people get rosary tattoos and a lot of people get religious figures tattooed on them. Like you see Jesus, you see Mary. And so I actually find that very interesting that like, although that like religion might play a huge part on like why people get certain tattoos, because like, oh, I want a rosary tattoo because I feel like it's going to protect me. It's the intention behind the tattoo. It's kind of like witchcraft.
Yeah, a lot of crosses, a lot of prayer hands.
Right. And so that's why like I named my shop Spellbound, and that's a witchcraft type of way. And I feel like your intentions are put into your tattoos. And like, if you look way back into history, like ancient history, we've been getting tattoos for so long. Like ancient Egyptians like have them on them, like they've found them on mummies. And I did research one day because I was just like, why is it that we feel the need to mark ourselves? Like why is that a thing? And with all the research that I've been able to combine, it has said we have a need to want to separate ourselves from different tribes or different societies. And whatever will like push us away from like certain societies or civilizations or different tribes to help, like, you know, if you go to Hawaii, there's tribal tattoos.
Sure.
And there's different symbolisms. I don't do tribal tattoos because of the respect that symbolism that is behind all those, you know, different marks and whatever. Like there's different shapes that mean different things, and so different cultures have like all these rules behind the tattoos. And I don't know, I feel like that question, like religion and then like tribes, and it just like goes way back, you know. It's such a complex industry, to be honest. There's so much that goes behind
and
it.
You're a woman, and now when you
Automatically
when you messaged me, you said it was male dominated, and it's funny because I think of Kat, you know, Kat Von D or whatever, and I'm like, oh yeah, I guess there's probably not a lot of women tattoo owner. I wouldn't have even thought about it, but it is. So how is that, and what's the struggle as far as
being a woman in the
being
industry?
a woman in, that industry?
So first of all, like I feel like being a woman in the industry, people automatically don't take you seriously, like in any other serious career that you have. Like you're underpaid. Like I think, actually, to be completely honest, I think tattooing is probably, like, for women, we make the most. I want to say, for sure, women make the most in the industry. It has a lot to do with women trusting other women, tattooing them. And then there's some men that don't feel comfortable with other men tattooing them. So especially in like certain areas. So I feel like we kind of have an upper hand. it's kind of like a masseuse, you know, like usually would prefer like maybe a female masseuse or something, like you feel a lot more comfortable with that. You're alone in a room with somebody, you know, like you want to like choose. And I feel like maybe gender doesn't really matter too much in 2023. I feel like there's so many like different like genders out there now that people can like pick and choose who they want their artist to be. But I definitely want to say in like the last upcoming 3 years, women have been dominating the industry like way more than typically. I do want to announce that I'm pretty sure, as far as I'm concerned, Spellbound is the only female-owned shop like filled with women only in northern Utah.
Huh.
So as far as I'm concerned,
So all your other artists are women too?
yes, yeah, we're all
Very
women.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
And did they find you? Did you find them?
Yeah, so I'm one of those people.
Did you meet in the woods under a
Yeah,
full moon?
exactly. Yeah, no, we did. I sent out smoke signals.
I see it.
And I put message in bottles and, you know, threw them out in the river and
There was dancing.
Tried to
around
find-
fire.
There was dancing.
yeah, sent a crow out to, you know, different people out there. Just manifested that. But it's kind of word of mouth, to be honest. So I had an apprentice in the beginning, and she was so funny. Like, she made me laugh because she's like, "You're paying me for this, right?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm giving you like, you know, a $70,000 a year career, and you're asking me if I'm gonna pay you. If you want to be my assistant, I mean, that's a different story. But I ain't hiring an assistant." So.
Luna, thanks for coming in. Thanks for reaching out via
course.
Instagram. And this is a lesson. You want to be on the show? Reach out via Instagram, because that worked well. It only took me 3 months to see the message, so that was my
Message in a bottle. Like,
oh my god, that
I'm
was
gonna
horrible.
send
You didn't
Smoke
see the
signal.
smoke signal.
No, I totally was so far behind.
So
on
basically,
that.
what we've learned too, if you need to email Banyan, you want to email Todd at the Banyan Collective.
Well, email was fine.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
she messaged on Instagram.
I'm an Instagram person.
Yeah, and
I thought you were more onto Instagram. Brandon, I'm shaking my head.
she messaged, and that was like probably if she would have tagged me in wouldn't have been a way to reach out. But when I forget to check the messages, and that's my fault. It's totally my fault. So I apologize, Luna.
Okay.
The timing is perfect.
You saw it.
Yeah.
So that's all that matters.
Yeah, that was great. And so people can just get a hold of you and
Yeah,
and
they can
book time with you.
Book
and-
with me,
yeah.
Hidden Moon Art or Spellbound tattoo. Yeah, for sure. I'm always accepting new clients, and we have a bunch of awesome tattoo artists there as well they can book with. So.
And is it okay if we come in and say, I want a tattoo? Like Eric's going to come in and he's going to say, I want a tattoo, but I don't know
On
what
his ass?
I don't on his ass, but I don't know what I want. And so help me figure that out.
Yeah, I would be like, there's my book. Like, check out what's available.
Okay. Yeah. That's how I got mine was on a wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the best way to do it, honestly, because I feel like when the tattoo artist does their art, their own art, they're like really invested in it.
Yeah.
So.
And I saw you do these, like, I'll do these certain tattoos for cheap, like that you've been posting.
Friday
on
the
this?
13th. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tattoo artists have like holidays.
Okay.
So there's like Friday the 13th is like a holiday for us.
Okay.
So we do like deals during,
Okay.
and then also apprentices, like who I'm teaching how to tattoo.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a respect thing not to like charge $100-$200 for like something that might come out good.
Yeah,
Like we
yeah.
don't really know if
Yeah.
it's going to come out good or not. Like we're just testing the waters to see how their line work is going to turn out. So we definitely, we keep it at a certain like ballpark and price wise just to cover our, supplies, expensive.
Yeah, for
Keep the
sure.
lights on. But yeah, so they're discounted for apprentices. So if anybody wants an apprentice tattoo, yeah, she's available.
That's pretty cool.
So
Yeah, that's
That
really
is cool. Well, see,
yeah.
you mentioned that, so now I have to ask. There's so many questions.
Yeah.
I know. I'm
Ask
like,
as many questions.
so this-
as-
talk to Luna
it's-
all night.
And
It's
so
very
this-
interesting.
Yeah, this doesn't necessarily have to apply to just your work, but how expensive can tattoos get? Now, obviously, they can grow and grow and grow, but I mean, like essentially a design, and
Yeah.
maybe that consists that's already planned out that you're going to cover a lot of square footage on somebody's body, and I can imagine that price could get really high. But
Yeah.
can tattoos get really expensive?
They can really. Like, I think whoever's doing tattoos, values themselves as an artist, so they, you know, whatever they feel like they need to charge you, they will, like as they feel like their value is.
That's good.
Yeah, it's like painters, you know, he feels like he wasted like 12, 13 hours drawing this or painting this. I'm gonna sell it for $5,000. You know, it's because he spent his heart and soul and invested a lot of time into this, and look at this masterpiece, you know. It's like,
you spent a little less than $5,000 on yours, I'm assuming.
On my tattoo?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. It's like $100 or something. I don't know. No, I don't know. It wasn't a lot.
Yeah.
It was on a wall. It was like one of those cheapy ones.
Yeah.
It was a good memory.
I need to add. So Luna, you may see me later.
No, that's fine. I think like my price wise, I was charging probably close to like $120 an hour, and I just recently changed it per piece because I would get finished with like a really big tattoo in like an hour. So I'm like,
yeah, you get quick.
Yeah, I was just like, dang. And like, I feel like telling my clients, I'm fast at tattooing. And then they're like, oh no, like, don't be fast at my tattoo. Take your time. And then I like take my time, but like line work is pretty quick for me. And yeah, it kind of was hard when I would only have to charge like $200-300 for a piece that, you know, would have taken somebody at least 4 hours doing. With
I think something you're going to have the rest of your life should cost more than like a poofy.
100%. Okay. I want to like send it off to the shoe industry. So you're in the shoe industry, right?
Well, kind of.
Okay.
I'm in the running industry.
That's funny. Yeah.
I feel like a pair of shoes, like, what do they run? Like, they're pretty expensive too, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Running shoes are.
I've always like compared, I don't know, my prices with like, I always just been like, well, you're going to spend like, you know, $150 on a pair of shoes, and that's gonna only last you like what, you know, 20 months. And then like someone like tries to bargain with me with my prices. I'm like, this is gonna last forever. Like, you know, you don't run down unless you're like in the sun all the time. And so I'm just like, you know, understand that our prices. I'm surprised that tattoos aren't way more than they are today, because actually I have this theory that tattoos are like, you know, within the range that they are price wise right now is because of how poorly the industry has been treated, like with gang violence in the past, and like people associated with prison. People like I have this theory that people just have this like bad connotation when it comes to tattoos, and so that's why I think that people don't value them for what they are. And I don't know, that's just my theory. So.
That sure makes sense.
Yeah. No, same problem artists have, just artists.
Yeah,
I mean, I
starving
see it
artists.
across the board. Yep.
Yep.
No,
Yeah.
that's completely true.
Yeah.